Hello, everyone. I was reading IJR Independent News, and an interesting topic came up. A girl was wearing a little off the shoulder type shirt, and her principal got so uppity with her that not only did she try to arrest the girl, she also wanted to suspend her from school for 10 days. Now, the girl was just, wearing what was called maybe a tight top. Now, the thing is, though, first they tried to give her a jacket which wasn't enough for the principal, which was another female. I don't know if she was envious of the girl's bigger boobs than her, she was thinner than her, or what her real problem was. But this is like The Wall by Pink Floyd, where an overzealous teacher type figure is trying to harm a student for innocent behavior. And this is worse than The Wall, really, because it was the principal of the school. Now in the song The Wall, it was a teacher and doing the same thing to his students. But in this instance, it was a teacher, the principal of the school. Hey, principal! Leave those kids alone! Right. That's what we mean. You're just as bad as Satan not wanting Adam and Eve to be naked and eating. And the girl wasn't naked, she was wearing the proper clothing. And all she would have to do, like they suggested, is put on a jacket. Now, you escalated that like they did in The Wall. Because it's our school rule. Well, y'all just a bunch of self-righteous assholes. In the European community, if you want to, you can go to the beach and go topless or even nude. Why? Because of their relaxed nature. But here we're so uppity, tight, and anti-Christ. Not Christian, because Christian is nude, naked, and not ashamed of your body. But nudity is not a problem for God, it's a problem for Satan because he covets us. Now, in a way, it's okay to wear clothing, but if you do not and play by the rules, that's fine too. And what is that called? Ambiguity. And free means free, and bound means bound. Clothes bind the flesh, but nudity sets you free. Of course, you got to know your rules. But if it's an overreaction to the rules, almost militant in the school, you're becoming like the song The Wall. Hey, principal, leave those kids alone. All in all, you'll just stay another brick in the wall. We don't need no education. We don't need no force control. No dark sarcasm in the classroom. Teacher, leave them kids alone. Hey, principal, leave those kids alone. You evil, corrupt witch, worse than the Salem's witch trials. What the hell is wrong with people? Are we trying to become a militant society or a free society still? Militant is where you constrict rules and try to force everyone to conform when no one's perfect. Grace means you make a few mistakes along the way, but learn as you go. To work within the rules to do the right things. That's love versus law. Law means you know you're going to make a mistake, but you try not to. Love means you know you're to try not to do anything wrong, but you might. But if you do, you admit it and get over it, and if you don't, you work with it out. With love, compassion, understanding. We're all human. No one's perfect. That's the point. You're being militant like Satan, forced control. Oh no. Like the wall, like the wall. Now, I don't know what's wrong with you teachers and educators and principals of these schools and superintendents and all that stuff and council members who's letting all this stuff happen to your children. She's your child too, not just the mother's child. When that child is under your care, and you can't overprotect them either. Now, if someone's going to rape you, you know what? It don't matter what the fuck you're wearing. You can be wearing a fucking burqa, and if someone wants to rape you, they're going to fucking rape you. It's not the clothing that makes a person a rapist. It's power over another human being, and that you can rape them that makes them a rapist. And you have two choices, too. You can resist the rapist unto death, like I would. Or, if you're not strong enough to do that, they might rape you. And that means you have to fight them to the death or let them rape you. And now, I've heard it both ways. Some say if you don't fight them, it might be easier for you. Some say if you do, it might be worse for you. But it's still your what? Choice. If you fight them to the death, like I would... Yeah, I might have been attacked 2 times already, and I'm still here, and maybe 3 or more, at least. Because congestive heart failure don't come on a person easy who's around 200 pounds, and then he goes up to 30 pounds and then goes down again, and unless something's really trying to poison you. And I was taking the medication I was supposed to be taking, and I wasn't taking any medication, but I had a high blood pressure. And, now again, that's when I started taking the medications and quit arguing about it too. And see, now I'm better, and even though I'm 308 pounds. See, my weight don't have nothing to do with it as long as I'm taking the medication anyway. And how do you know I'm taking it? I don't have high blood pressure anymore. So whatever you're imagining, it's your imagination. And now I got my medication here every day, which I can take anytime. And if I want to go to for the left, I got my Loxapine. If I want to do that, something lighter, I got the Perfenazine, and this shit I'm not taking anymore because it makes me sin too much. But now I'm fighting that off too. And now all of them are making me bigger, from the risperidone to the Seroquel now to the Abilify, and then to these two too. And they're still affecting me not the way they're supposed to. They're either making me too drowsy or too insomniac, and that's not good for me either. I need to have 4 to 8 hours sleep at least. Now the Japanese have what's called a power sleep of 4 hours at least, and then might take a nap for about an hour during the day. But we, in America, we sleep 8 hours a night and might take a 30-minute to an hour nap, and then that's 9 hours. That's fine too. And go out throughout your day. Now that's up to you, and that's how you want to live your life. You can sleep 8.5 hours and then take a nap for about an hour. I mean, it's all up to you. But try not to get more than 9 hours sleep anyway. Now, let me really educate you false educators who are trying to play by the rules and don't understand the rules, what they're there for. The rules are to protect children from overbearing people who want to hurt them too. And now, if you're overbearing and basing it upon an old rule that was initially to protect the child, but you become dominant and militaristic and act like you're the police when you're just in a school, that's crazy. You have security guards. You cannot arrest anyone. Only the police can arrest someone. You are not the fucking police, dumbass principal. You're a principal of a school. You can't arrest any fucking one, only the police can. Period, Miss Principal. Don't you know that? You're not the police. There's only one police, and if you must arrest someone, call the police. But you know the police would just look at you and scoff at you, and if they see the shirt, they would say, that's a good shirt, we don't care. That's your problem. You want to arrest the student, suspend her for 10 days for wearing a shirt that you don't approve of. But it was still a fully covered shirt. It might have made her boobs stand out a little, but it didn't really, if I saw it correctly, show any real cleavage or anything either. So you just overreacted in my mind, or anyone that's somewhat rational and on medications, even if they're paranoid schizophrenic, which that means I would be paranoid about you, the principal, trying to do the same thing to my child as well. And arrest my child when you don't have the authority to arrest anyone. Only the police can. Unless you're making a citizen's arrest based on what? A clothing option? When you arrest someone for a clothing option, that's the same as arresting them for wearing shoes or no shoes outside. And that's stupid. And that's about as intelligent as arresting someone for wearing a condom and having sex or not. And one, you're not supposed to know that much intimate detail. And two, if it's making you excited, you're being the wrong way with the student anyway, sexually with an underage person anyway. And you're the one overreacting and acting all sexual towards the person as well. And you're looking at her not as a child who is innocently wearing a shirt she thought was a pretty shirt and not thinking about the way you are, which you're looking at it sexually like a predator. Whereas the child is just wearing it as a shirt she thought was comfortable and not thinking at it like you are. And, don't lie to me, woman. You're like the Wicked Witch in the Wizard of Oz. Trying to enforce rules that don't apply anymore. To a school that is moving forward in the future, whereas you're in the past. Trying to, like with homosexuality, make people do an archaic law they don't want to do anymore. And you can't do that either. Marriage is perfect and undefiled, but fornication is not. And if you're making the homosexuals commit fornication and not allowing them to find one partner and settle down, which is the greater sin, fornication outside of marriage, though if you're with a virgin and you want to marry her, that's different too. But again, that's for a female, but it would also apply to two males who are in love too. They want to lose their virginities to each other. Either way, it's the same concept. But they have to stick it out together though too. They can't just fuck each other. That's fornication. But they can, if they love each other, stay together forever. Forever. Not just this lifetime. If they love each other and want to get legally married, that's not fornication. What Moses seemed to be talking about in the Bible is just sex. With no love, no commitment, and going from partner to partner. As well. That's the homosexuality he's warning you about. Not what you think. Or where you want the rape men sent to warn you something bad's about to happen. Like with Russia and the comet a while back. I was trying to warn Russia that a comet was coming, but you didn't want to give them the message from me. I'm trying to help everyone here and save lives. Whether it's Russian or American or Muslim or whatever. My job isn't to judge you, but help you unconditionally. No one's perfect. Not you or the student. And you overreacted in an adult frame of mind over to the child, and you cannot arrest anyone unless you're the police. Now, the school board can't give you authority to arrest any child. You must call the police or her mom. If you can't reach her mom, you call the police and let them handle it, and they'll take the child and do what they have to do too. Now, they might not have agreed with you, which is why you didn't do that either. That's the point there too. Now, like I said, I'm not instigating anything here. People on the internet are. But I ain't looking for no trouble if you're not looking for trouble either. But if you try to start something, there's going to be something. If I'm sleeping peacefully on the couch, you don't let any child come in there to me at all. Because I'll tell on you. If she does. I would have to ask her who showed her that and tell her mom. Even if she don't call the police. And even then, that's handling it privately. And first you handle a matter privately between you and the child and the mom. Then if they won't listen, then you take it publicly. But first you handle it as soon as it happens, and then you move on. Now that's what I'm trying to point out about these weirdos thinking my stepdaughter would come in there while I was sleeping on the couch in the middle of the night. that just can't happen and should never happen. And Daphne said it didn't happen, so why are you arguing with me and my wife now, and the stepdaughter herself, where no one's saying it happened? Those are things you don't want to hear. And I will sleep on the couch for a child to come in there to me. I'd have to ask her who showed her that and tell her mom. And that's not even a choice. I'm paranoid schizophrenic. And if I did all that, I'm doing my job. If I did not, that would be a crime. Otherwise. And she's not supposed to interact with me either way. And either story I told that might could have happened in that situation as well. The child's responsibility is, for one, the mother to tell her not to go and do there to me at all. And if she neglected to do that, that's fine. I would ask her who showed her to do that, and we would handle it then, whether she did it or not. That's my job as her stepdad, to make sure she don't do that anyway. And I would. But Daphne herself said we all slept sounding through the night. So why are you arguing with us? We never said it happened. I kept telling you I'm being sarcastic with you or lying or making it up, and you still don't want to believe me, even though I said it was a false confession, and she confirmed with the Garden City Police Department it was a false confession. So what else can we tell you, me, my wife, and the child, when we say nothing happened? You're just a nosy busybody who don't have nothing to do but gossip about a paranoid schizophrenic whose wife, Nene, who is paranoid schizophrenic, would protect her child comfortably from him. And what you're saying is she did not, nor did the grandparents who would have been the ones to train her up to that point as well, and how to interact with someone they don't know. Those are the only people who knew the child besides Sal Blissasetti and his girlfriend before she was with me. So either Sal had something to do with it and told her to say something like that, if my hypothetical wasn't hypothetical, and Daphne and Amanda are lying, both of them, which there's two involved, not one, not two, but three. If you want to insinuate I did something, I'm sleeping on the couch, which I don't know if Daphne would tell Sal that, but I would probably advise her not to. It's not Sal's business. I don't know if she would tell her mom or grandma or dad that and ask them what to do. All right. Well, there ain't much you can do if you leave your husband stranded in Tennessee and he's very confused about you and he fears he can't trust you anymore and he's afraid of you. You better just let it go. You better just let it go and let him move out to base or something. Anything more and you're just going to escalate it and make it worse. Hypothetically there. But I was never violent towards Daphne, not even when we got into a few fights. But if you're standing between me and the door, I have to get you out the way of the door, and I can lift 200 to 300 pounds anyway right now. Now I got to get all the weight because I don't have it on hand, but I bet by the time I get the next 50 pounds, the next 100 pounds of weight, I can do that right away as a deadlift. Now I'm going to start deadlifting 500 pounds and build month by month. Now I can deadlift 500 pounds. I can't bench press it because I need a spotter for bench presses. But I'll start deadlifting it for you motherfuckers. I'll compromise with you assholes. But can you compromise with me? Quit calling me these names on the internet with no proof anything happened. Or me and my wife and stepdaughter saying nothing happened as well. The stepdaughter could go down to the police department at any time if she has evidence I licked her one time and showed her my penis at any time. But if she don't, she can't there either. That's the problem about a catch-22 and telling you a ridiculous story like that anyway. So you have to prove it legally happened too. Now a tape alone, a video or an audio, wouldn't prove anything either because you could simulate doing that too and not really do it. So you need actual physical DNA on the vagina of my saliva touching her vagina. Or my tongue touching her vagina with my saliva and it transferring onto her vagina from my tongue. That's what they do in forensics. Now, if you don't know nothing about forensics, you're just a dumbass DA anyway, not doing your job, right? Right. Now, a DA would know about forensics, so I know there's no tape either. That's just, again, hypothetical, based on 1984 by Orwell and also by The Circle recently. Now, of course, I'm being sarcastic too, there too. Because if there was a tape, that would sort of give everyone involved a means to explain what if something happened anyway. And we would all have to explain it from our different points of view. And the tape would either exonerate someone or prove everyone else guilty if that happened too. There'd be no doubts in the police's mind who did what. And if I asked her at any point during the interaction who showed her that and she answered, well, guess who would be guilty? The person who she said showed her that, not me anyway. That means they coached her before she got to me to do that with others and not even me. I didn't even hardly know the girl until after she was with all the other people first. Even my wife had to drive down from Arkansas to Virginia, and then she was with her biological father and his girlfriend, and then, after all that, me. That's a lot of interaction between all that stuff, too. And Daphne would have to leave early Sunday morning to get there by Sunday night. Or the next day, Monday morning, to do her job in the Navy, too. I told her both out the Navy. And I was going to planned on talking to the chief to get a room. But it still would take a while, too. Up to a week to 10 days, or 2 weeks, or more or less. But I was going to sleep on the couch anyway until I got my room. Now, I don't remember if I explained all this to Daphne until I did, but that's the point, too. I don't have to. I'm a 24-year-old now, then. If I want to move back to base because she's acting all crazy on me, I can at any time. And I ain't got to give her notice. This ain't a job interview. I was legally married to you, and I can also legally separate from you if you're treating me badly enough for me to do that. That's true with any couple. Not only can you leave me, but I can leave you if you're treating me badly enough and leave me stranded in Tennessee. We'll do that. And you damn sure don't want to insinuate, nor does anyone else like Sal or your family either, that she came in there to me because that would mean they coached her. I had no opportunity to coach her. I was the one you were trying to make her be with, not the other way around, not me trying to make her be with me. That would be just stupid. Especially if I wanted to move safely back to base, I can't touch the child. I have to ask her who showed her that first, and if she answers me, that's the party she's associated with, and then I tell Daphne, and that's my only options. And leave it up to her to call the police, because, again, that's still a private matter between me and her, unless you're trying to make something public that she's denying happened. There's no other evidence either, on her side or mine. That's a private matter between me and my wife anyway, if it were to occur. If we handled it, we handled it. Don't worry about it. We handled it that night. If there was any further evidence, it would have been all brought up within 48 hours and I would have been arrested. Trust me. Even if I did lick her one time. The police's job is to make sure that don't happen as well. If I did my job and told the mom, and that's where he showed her that, which is my job, if she comes in to me at all in the middle of the night while I'm asleep, and I did that, I'm playing by the rules. Whoever let her come in there to me, they'll be more guilty than I was anyway if they knew about my mental illness the whole time, or trying to entrap me. And that's what it would look like there too, entrapment. Any shape, or form. That's why Daphne has to say nothing happened. You're right. But I'm just admitting that hypothetically based on real life encounters I had with a child to an adult. And that's what I told you there too. This is hypothetical for us. I don't remember anything happened. If it would, it'd be less than a minute. If you undress a child gently and lick her one time and show her your penis, that would take less than 30 seconds maybe. Not even a full minute. And if she just sort of laid there, that would be strange too, because I told you about the encounter with my cousin and the 5-year-old next door neighbor too. This ain't just made up shit. This really happened to me in my mind when I was younger. Now you have younger memories, which are less clear, and then recent memories, which are more clear. But again, you still have selective memories too. No one remembers everything perfectly. That's the point there too. But you remember what you remember, and what you don't remember, you don't remember. That's your dudes. Now, if the government is trying to set me up because they're not doing their jobs, but trying to entrap one of their innocent persons who just was having some psychological problems because of all the Persian Gulf War first and other wars, he was paranoid that might could happen in the future. That's all. Just a little paranoid. which became paranoid schizophrenia in '93 when he started hearing voices on a daily basis. But just audio voices, no hallucinations. There's a difference there too. Now, hallucinations and audio voices are two different things in the schizophrenic world. One means you're just a little paranoid that someone's out to get you and trying to hurt you, which that would make me aware if she was to come in there. I have to ask her who should have that and tell her mom anyway, because that could be entrapment on me. Now, if you don't know that, dumbass, I do. I know what entrapment is. You don't. So for the child to come in there to me at all, I have to tell her mom that night. I don't have a choice legally. That's the point, Daphne. And whoever's attacking me is your problem, not me. I've been presented to them sarcastically, literally, and telling them that the whole time what I would have to do legally. Because I knew before that happened. But by 2020 and Pastor Davis and what happened to Shane Sanders in Bible camp. I've been around that shit before. I know how to handle that shit. I even helped raise my sister a little bit once Marceline and Big Roddy divorced. So they're back together now, but that was it. That's life, and that's life. And again, you learn from your past. And so I knew how to handle a child either way. I helped raise my sister a little bit, so I would be aware if the child was acting up and what I had to do to legally clear my own name, which would be to ask her who showed her that, even if it didn't happen. Like I told you about when I was seeing a woman in Ocean View around between September and October of '93 after we got back to Norfolk from the Mediterranean. Now, I started having sex with other women because she was rejecting me hard, and so I said, well, fuck it, I'll move on. And after all that shit, and trying to stay faithful to her through letter writing, but that was it. Well, the reason I was doing that, I wasn't sure she was getting pregnant, and one of the signs of pregnancy is you act all hormonal and crazy all of a sudden, whereas when we met on Palma, she seemed like a normal girl. Well, I started talking about the Bible and getting religious a little bit with her, but I don't think too religious. I never insulted her in any of my letters. And then I heard a voice that said, Jerusalem, Jerusalem, Jerusalem. I started talking to her about that a little bit, and then she started freaking out on me. And well, yeah, that's either made me think she was being hormonal because she was pregnant or didn't want to hear what I was saying, and I didn't know anything. I didn't accuse her of doing anything else either, and I was just telling her what I learned from Christian Fellowship Church, and that's all. Which I was sending her the same Bible studies Christian Fellowship Church gave me. But what I was doing, I think, was writing them all out by hand, and sending them to her through the mail. That's all. Anything else, I don't know about you. I don't know if the redhead you were with, tried to break us up, or if someone else on the ship, like a male who had brown hair and brown eyes, was taller than me, tried to break us up. Who I remember seeing on your ship too. Who you sort of introduced as a friend, maybe? I don't know. What was going on? I don't know. All I know is you started acting crazy towards me and acting all weird, which I could understand if I heard voices and you didn't really believe in the Bible because of what happened between you and your father, but again, that's why I sort of went for you, because Pastor Davis also tried to molest me, or touch my ass, and that's the same thing. If you try to touch someone's ass without their permission, and you're in a power situation over them, that's molestation. Don't matter. It don't matter. And Pastor Davis also got exposed on 2020. That's sort of why I knew it would be wrong if Manna came in there to me a little bit. Now, if anything more happened, it would be to try and feel what's going on. That's in case they do have a video, but don't want to tell the truth about that either. Because I did ask her who showed her that, and I'd have to, and I know I would. Not an admission of guilt either. That's just telling you my legal understanding of pedophilia back then too. Now, I also was told oral sex is different than real sex as well. And if she is willing and you don't force it, or you don't really lick her but you more assimilate it, that's different too. That's not really trying to lick her, but one time can be forgiven. 2 times or more cannot. You do it 1 time, you're just trying to see if she'll let you. But you do it 2, you're trying to eat her out. I didn't even do it 1. I didn't do it 1. And all you can have is maybe an overcam camera trying to catch me in the act. Maybe in the silly If it was in the sidewall, again, that would give you somewhat of a view, but again, can you prove I really leaked it? Because, you can only put a camera in so many locations in the living room anyway. Either in the ceiling light, if there was one, which I don't remember that either. But, however she came in there to me, she was out of place, not me. I was sleeping on the couch and had to become aware of her. Or just trying to get to sleep around the same time she might have came in there. I don't know all the details. It's sort of a blur. It's not a real memory either. I'm just piecing it together for you after all this time. And you're the ones making an issue. And I'm just telling you the legal ramifications for myself, Daphne, and all involved. And the grandma, the grandpa, and explaining what I'm saying. What I'm saying, which is logical for even a paranoid schizophrenic to explain. And it's not logical for you to assume I would do something if I was already molested myself. That means I would recognize the child's behavior, and even if I interacted with her, it's not to test her. And, I have a right to test the child if she's coming there to me to a point, as long as I don't technically break any privacy laws. Now, privacy laws means I was doing something in the privacy of my own home without trying to really entice the child on my own. If I was enticing the child to come in there to me, that's my fault. But if she came in there to me voluntarily, I had to find out what was going on, whether something went further or not. That's also your responsibility, too, to find out if you knew about child molestation, if the child was molested, too. That's all I might could have done, if she was compliant. Which would take maybe 30 seconds to 45 seconds to more than a minute, if that happened. Now, if the child's just laying there peacefully in La La Land, means she was exposed to it before she met me. You don't want that to be true, because that puts it on the real dad, then Daphne, then grandma. Though anyone can teach her to say grandma. Even the granddad, Daphne, and Sal and his girlfriend, who all had access to her before I did. So how am I, the last low man on the totem pole, even guilty for not knowing what the hell she was doing there with me in the first place? And if she somewhat allowed me to, that's coaching. Because children don't seek out sex with an adult ever, unless they were coached. That's not an admission of guilt for me or Daphne either. That's, again, a hypothetical. You understand that, right, Daphne? That's not an admission of guilt for either one of us. We're not, arrested for it yet, nor are we on trial for it yet. This is just a hypothetical trial, like with Perry Mason or Law and Order or shows like that. Based upon TV shows, too. That Marceline knows I watch a lot of fucking TV. Now, I might not watch it as much as I used to, but Teresa knows, and everyone else knows around me. And Law and Order Special Victims Unit. One came out in 94 and one in 99. This would have been when all this shit was going on, too. And then 2020, of course, and then Oprah and Dr. Phil, and then Jerry Springer and all that shit, too. Raphael and Sarah Jessica Raphael, and then Phil Donahue and all those shit, too. Now, I didn't watch Phil Donahue as much because I was in school. But I did grow up with Oprah and Sally Jesse Raphael and then Geraldo and all that stuff, too, in 2020. Those were the popular shows when I was growing up. So where am I lying? I'm not lying at all. You're making me make up a ridiculous story that couldn't even happen unless the child was coached or enticed to come there to me anyway. And before you met her. That wouldn't be my fault at all. And if I asked her who should have that, and she named someone she was either coached to, meaning she was prepared for that question. Right? And when she said, whoever she said, showed her that. Which could be grandma, grandpa, aunt, uncle, dad, mom, things like that. Now, why would I say grandma, hypothetically? Well, normally if you were to undress someone, and she was with the grandma, who would undress her? Her paternal grandma or her grandpa? The grandma. That's just logical. It's not proven she did. But if I licked her, that would be a little added thing. And if I showed her my penis, that would be associated with grandpa, not grandma, unless you use a dildo. Which they have dildos in different colors. They have them in white, black, Asian, right? 94. 94. And Daphne had one herself, a long one that was about 12 inches that was white with 2 penis tips. Right, Daphne? Have I forgotten anything? No. That didn't happen before that. Have I forgot a damn thing, Daphne? Am I trying to make it up or trying to defend our honor of my family and yours? Not even sure what the hell they're talking about, which is what I'm saying. Which Sal would do that, but I don't think your or my family would. I hope not. The other one it would then point to is your dad, which is real strange. Now, two granddad, one granddad and one dad might would have had it out for me. I don't know. But I wasn't looking for it. So who would tell her to say grandma anyway when I was just doing it hypothetically because the grandma would undress her naturally and do it? Not the grandpa. But when the grandpa has a dick, not the grandma, she would have to use a dildo. That's trying to eliminate who would really do it. Not saying she would. And then the other way is if Sal's girlfriend licked her vagina one time and then Sal showed her his penis. He's white. I'm white. Though I'm mixed. So is her dad. He's a red man, half black, half white, half Native American. He looks like sort of an Indian and African American as well, like Thomas, my next door neighbor, who's the neighborhood watch, who should be informing me that people are breaking in my house, and they are, and he's not doing his job as the neighborhood watch captain. That's all I'm saying there, Thomas. You're not doing your job for me, and I told you before, someone's breaking into my house and breaking my stuff off and shit I had. And if you're the neighborhood watch captain, you're a piss poor neighborhood watch captain, in my opinion. Black or white. Wouldn't matter to me if it was a white man doing it either. I'll be just as pissed off with him if I went to him and told him someone broke my keychain off the keychain, and they're not supposed to be able to do that without a screwdriver or something like that either. Keychains don't just pop off unless you're strong like The Rock anyway. Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, he might can pop a keychain of a Ford key off of a keychain, which is a new key. These are newfangled keys too. They're made to be durable, so you just don't pop them off as well. So who would do that? Now Mary Snow is asking Jane Everly, why does she need therapy if nothing happened? Ever think she might not want to be all over YouTube? Well, I'm not putting her all over YouTube. I didn't start this process. You are. Shame on you is. You started this shit. I'm just explaining it to you hypothetically what it would mean legally for me and Daphne and the child. Coaching and interaction with her grandpa, aunt and uncle, Daphne, dad and mom, biologically, or new stepmom, then me. I'm the last person to have contact with her, not the first. She could have went through all of them, and they might all could have coached her, but not me. I was sleeping on the couch. I wasn't trying to coach her. Coming there to me. And wasn't. I didn't have the opportunity to coach her because Daphne was schizophrenic. That means they all knew. Sal and everyone. Now, if she hadn't left me stranded in Tennessee, I wouldn't have went on the couch. But since she did, I did. And I wouldn't want to get back to base because I didn't feel safe anymore. My story would check out, but hers would not. To even let the child come in there to me. So who would have to lie? Daphne. Not me. I'm the low man on the totem pole who was the last person to have any contact with the child, and it would only be a day or two. And I don't know what day she would do it on either, nor does Daphne, or the child. See, she can accuse me. Now, that's the point there too. I'm not putting this on YouTube because I know it happened. I'm putting it on YouTube because you're accusing me it happened. An accusation is like with the Salem witch trials. When they would accuse someone of being a witch, they would do all kind of crazy shit to prove the witch a witch, which would also kill a normal human being. But the same with the Inquisition. They were doing the same thing there. That's what you people are doing now. You're worse going back to the Salem witch trials. You fucked up Christians who aren't reading the whole Bible. But just being selectively taught by your pastors, like Pastor Davis, who touched my ass before I even met the child as well. But that would be why I would know she's not supposed to come in there to me, or even let me undress her, or even let me lick her, or even let me show her my penis, or even wake me up. She's not. She was out of place, not me. I was sleeping on the couch or just lay down for God knows how many minutes. Now, if you're attempting to go to sleep, you don't know how long you go to sleep until the child was in there either. Could be a minute, could be an hour. I don't know. But I was going to sleep if something could happen every night until I got back to base. Now, me and the child would interact during the day from the time I got off to the time I went to sleep. Now, the children need to go to bed earlier with the mother. And I was sleeping on the couch because of the fight. Where's my sin? If I was sleeping on the couch because me and my wife got into a fight and I didn't think I'd feel safe around her anymore. I was doing the right thing, not the wife. In the first place, and leaving me stranded in Tennessee. No one can justify that behavior, right, Daphne? That's why on the video we clear all that air too. Like I told you, I didn't lick her vagina one time or show her my penis. You agreed. You know I wouldn't do that. The child would have to be so aggressive that only the granddad or child could show her that. With maybe the grandma involved, or the stepmom now, or step girlfriend, whatever she was. But anyway, that's the whole point. People just want to accuse people of innocent stuff because some people are really molested, and that's a problem. But that don't mean I'm a child molester just because I was around it myself and wouldn't recognize the signs in someone even coming in there to me that they could have been molested, and wouldn't go over there to them, and their vagina would still be in my face either way. If I was sleeping on the couch. Reason why is the girl sat on the couch and watched TV with me and stuff like that, and we ate dinner and normal stuff before that could even occur. Are you just insane? I mean, what you're acting like is somehow, while the mother was there, I got her alone in private, which is impossible with the mother being there, and raped her or something, shit like that too. You can't do that with the mom present. And even if she did say grandma, that's enough to blackmail anyone anyway. That's the point too. How could that blackmail her? She would put me in jail either way. Sex can be proven with the child by blood, semen, and saliva if I lick her. Why don't you understand DNA? Why don't you understand forensic science? Now, which is a big deal now. Which is why people are innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Because they can prove things through science and DNA. I don't reject science just because I'm a Christian. In fact, science would help me out in that situation. It can prove I didn't lick her up. Dude, even if I was to simulate it. And that the child ain't supposed to let me simulate it either with the other stories. See, that's the whole point. When you put someone on trial, their whole life goes on trial. That's why I'm telling you my whole life that I remember. I ain't forgot a damn thing how a Marceline. I ain't forgot a damn thing how a Pam. I ain't forgot a damn thing how a Renee. Those are my family members who are still my family members. Now, I'm not blaming you for what I went through with my family, nor can you blame me. But I remember what I remember. Now, Chris Tomkowski might not want to admit I rubbed up against him and he overreacted to it, but he did. Now, would he want to admit it? But I can call him as a hostile witness in the trial, too. A hostile witness. And you have to tell the truth on the stand, Chris. You can't lie or that's perjury. You're a hostile witness now. You remember that shit when you made me have to dance with Pam to prove I could get a boner with a girl? That might have confused me if something more happened between me and Pam. Don't point to because of Jerry Douglas and flowers in the attic and different things like that. That's why. Confusion is not necessarily trying to rape someone either. You're just sexually curious as a young male child. There's something different there too. And I'm attracted to females like my gay cousin now too. And I have a few. And I'm not going to name them all. I'm not going to tell you all the details in that. They're all your business. And some of my cousins are straight and some of them are gay. And I accept them no matter what. They're family. They're family. And family is family no matter their sexual orientation, no matter their skin color, no matter whether they repent or not. And if they don't repent, you're just to gently nudge them until they do. Even if they die in their sin, that's their choice. You cannot deny anyone the right to choose. In America. Freedom of choice means just that, freedom of choice. Now, you don't have the right to rape anyone. That's against the law now, both now and in the future. Now, if I physically penetrated the child's vagina, that's rape. But if I only performed oral sex, which she allowed, that's testing her to see if she would do that. There's a difference there, too. Testing the child, if she's reacting to you in a sexual way, is allowed under certain circumstances if you know about pedophilia yourself. Now, licking her, like I told you, one time is just to see if she would allow me. 2 times is for my pleasure. I wouldn't lick her more than 1 time. Though again, that's based upon what I learned about it all too, through Miss Holland, the horny hooker, when I got her book at 14. Now, you can't disprove any of this because everyone I'm talking about is on the internet. You can look them up for yourselves. Her name is Xavier or Exandria, something like that. Holland. She's called the Happy Hooker, and she did a big sex book in the 80s. And she was real popular there in the 70s and 80s, though she's older now. I may not be as good looking, but a woman is still a woman, no matter her age. I'm not trying to make love to her. I'm trying to find my life, which I have gotten over all my mistakes in the past, including Mary Bell, except for the possibility that Patrick could be my son. That's all I care about. But again, I can't prove or disprove that without a DNA test. Patrick is now 20. Now, when he was younger, I might could have gone through the courts, but all I can do is ask him right now, Patrick, do you want to get a DNA test with me, yes or no? If you do, fine. If you don't, fine. I won't force you, my possible stepson. Now, if I was having sex with Mary Bell 3 months before you with Scott, that's like I can sort of make a claim. But you would be more like a stepson to me or a stepson to Scott, but he's your adopted father if his name is on the birth certificate as well. He's got legal control over you, not me. So I mean there too. Legally speaking, I'm the low man on the totem pole, and if they're acting all crazy about the information I'm giving them, I'm trying to protect you from them. I don't know what the hell they're talking about. But I did go to the library and check out a book on pregnancy, and it said the same thing then that I'm telling you now, that a baby at 4 pounds 9 ounces is 8 months. A baby at 1.5 pounds is 5.5 months. Scott was with her in December 16th, according to Mary Bell. Story. After she was with him, she went over to his house. They had a one-night stand, and she found out she was pregnant shortly after that. But then up to 3 days, I guess. I don't know all the details, but if it was the same evening she took the DNA test, Mary Bell, you were already pregnant by me. Now, when you take birth control pills, all they do is regulate your menstrual cycle, even if you're pregnant. I know a girl, before I met you, and I told you about this in my letters if you read them all. I don't know if you did or didn't. I don't know if Miles was blocking that shit or not. I don't know. But I was constantly writing you and trying to tell you my side of the stories. And that's all I was doing the same with Sheena. And I was telling you my side of the stories. My side. Not their side, my side. And if I'm alone, trying to do the right things in the world, that doesn't mean I won't mess up a little. That means I will. We all will. But I knit it the best I can, not by memory, but by piecing it together too. To have a memory loss means a traumatic event happened either before or after, which the 3-story fall and car accident both happened before I started getting into a lot of trouble anyway. And that's head trauma, at least, with a cracked skull and broken neck, which I showed you the x-rays. After I turned 16. Then, if my behavior became more erratical, then I developed mental issues, then I developed psychological issues, then I developed sleeping problems, which I was trying to deal with medically. And I didn't know what was wrong with me, but I felt like something was wrong with me, and the Navy kept me in the Navy for 5.5 years. Was that my fault or theirs? But I was trying to get better, and I left the Navy as an E3 that I was busted on the ship to E2. What does that mean? Like I told you before. Does that mean my shipmates weren't working with me and I didn't know what to do about it? Being the black sheep of the division, Lieutenant Guzman can attest to that. And I don't call the second lieutenant the first lieutenant. And he was just a ensign anyway, not a lieutenant. Lieutenant Guzman was the lieutenant I called a witness for me. Not the second lieutenant. I don't even remember his fucking name. The blonde, who sort of looked like King. Right, EMF King. I remember every damn thing. If I don't, you attack me like in Tom Cruise's movie with Jack Nicholson, If You Commit. But I'm one good man. One good man. Trying to make it in a crazy world where whatever happened to me, I was trying to do the right things, and if I made a minor mistake, it was only a minor mistake. But the child wasn't where she was supposed to be, and I know you don't want this getting out on the internet, Daphne, because of your family being possibly involved with it. And I'm sorry if they were. But that's their fault for keeping attacking me and keeping the wound fresh. Not mine, no. Now, you can't commit perjury in a trial. You can only tell them what I told you happened that night, even though that's hearsay. Amanda cannot be coached for 22 years and what to say either. So that means what? Neither you nor she have any DNA evidence either that anything I'm saying is true or that I licked her or showed her my penis. There will be no DNA evidence for that either. There won't be. Not after 22 years. You got to collect the evidence within 48 hours of a crime. If I told you and you did not, you didn't call the police. Who's that on? Her. Not me. That's what I would tell anyone who started bringing that shit up at any time. Which, if it happened around the 3-story fall, is why they're talking about it now. But who would accuse me? Christian Fellowship Church, or the security on base, or Daphne. All three could have escalated if I landed in fall. But if I landed in fall, I either would have called Pastor Thomas, because I was arguing with him that I was one of the two witnesses, my wife to bring me a shirt, or tell the people on base, and we got into a big argument about it. That's the only three people, and they called security on me or something, thinking I was going crazy. I don't know. And like I said, my room's on the 3rd floor, so how am I making this shit up? I just got light up, and I've been interacting with people all day long and telling you what's going on. And as it went on. I can even show you how I got on the roof again. Now, I'm not going to jump off the roof again, but I can show you how I got on the roof too. Now, I'm not a glutton for punishment, and I'm not normally in this agitated anywhere in this kind of state. But I did land the fall or not. Right? Either you land something or you don't. If you do and you're attacked afterwards, because you told them you took ninja training when you were younger, and could do a full revelation around a swing, where you swing your whole body like a gymnast, which is how I got on the roof when I was 170 pounds. Now I'm 308. Now, yeah, I can't do that now because I got to build up my upper strength, which includes bench pressing and pull-ups. But the reason I'm not as strong as I used to be is the Abilify, and it's causing my hands problem and things like that. Now, the risperidone the Seroquel made me a little bit fatter, and the sleeping problems didn't start developing, or I didn't stop having blackouts until after all that medication too. Now, like I told you, the watch I broke mysteriously fixed itself, but I was back. But I don't know who fixed it. But Teresa would have saw who fixed it. She was there with me. So she's lying for whoever did that, whatever he did to me that day. Not me. But I have a witness there, but she was a lying whore. trying to fuck me too. Now, out of her and Nina, who would I fuck? Nina. Maria, Nina. Because Mary is Mary Bell. And I fuck Nina, who was younger, only had one child, over Teresa, though I was trying to wait for a virgin, and I was telling them both that. So, but if I had a choice between Teresa or Nina, who I'd choose Nina. But Teresa was also jealous of Nina and calling her a whore all the time. Wonder why? Now, I don't remember having sex with Nina, but I would masturbate to Nina again before I would masturbate to Teresa at all. Now, if you want to fuck Teresa and she's a hoe, that's up to you. But I was just trying to help her out as a Christian and a friend. But who would I fuck over Teresa or Nina? Nina. Who was prettier? Nina. Now, I wouldn't tell that to Teresa's face until now. I never did that I know of. I didn't judge either girl because neither girl was what I wanted. Nina was sort of raped after she got married and had her son, and Teresa was a freaking hoe and stripper most of her life. Not that I judged that, but that was because her dad molested her, and I was trying to show her love does not seek sex, love seeks the right person for it. But in that spirit, I can only be with Maria Nina because of her name. By grace. Even if she had a child. But I wasn't trying to consciously hurt you or be with her. But if I was, that's why. Mary Bell to Maria is better than Mary Bell to Teresa. Molly would work before Teresa. But not Teresa. Teresa ain't one of the names. Mary is. And MRBL can work too, even if it's two names. Because of Mary Bell, the name of Gideon. Or it's Baal, but Baal is also Bel. Bel and the dragon from the Apocrypha. And, that's what I mean, Mary Bell. See, I'm showing you're so biblical, you just don't know it. You just don't. And the Catholic Church puts down women, not me. You're in the Catholic Church, not the true church. In fact, I'm probably the only one trying to bring out the truth of the true church, that the real hero was Judas for sending Jesus to the cross, not the 11 who didn't want him to go. Though either way, he died for both their sins, Judas's and their unwillingness to let him die for theirs. But that's because they thought they're good enough to make it into heaven on their own merits, right, Pastor Prince? When you're not. That's the Joseph Prince, the pastor out of Singapore. Which that means I watch CBN, I watch the news, I watch everything. And I'm a normal, heterosexual male child born in the 1969 who was straight from the beginning. And only like girls. And that's what I'd tell any motherfucker who wanted to fuck me up the ass. And that is a fucking crime, and you're going to go to jail. Because I say no. Even if in their mind I was committing some crime, which is blackmail, trying to rape me. And blackmail is still rape. If I say no to any proposal you present to me, no means no. This ain't no means yes. This means no means no. And the only reason someone would do that, and it would take out the 2 to 4 people, according to David Maddox, who were raping people around that time too, like David's younger brother Matthew. Right, David Pelham? Did you and 2 others rape your own brother? Let 2 other people rape your own brother? That's just a question, my friend. Now, you got a bone around me, but I didn't look at it because you told me you would get mad with me or anyone who did, so I just ignored it. But that's called Morning Wood, so I didn't make a big deal out of it. And then you kicked me with a sidekick, but you told Johnny I wasn't a good fighter, but I was making points on Johnny because he was coming in faster, and I was fighting him off. And shit like that. You remember that, Johnny? You told me I was better than David said you would. And that's the point. Well, I don't want to fight you because I didn't do what I'm being accused of. That's the point. I didn't tell anyone you were dating the woman. I don't even remember her name. It might be Lynn, it might be something like different. I don't know. But also, Larry and Lynn, so whatever. If that's her real name, fine. If it's not, fine. But the only reason I'm telling them is someone's attacking me about this shit 31 to 22 years later for both accidents. But not me, them. That's the point. Be fair or be square. Tell the truth or lie. But whatever you're doing, I know it. Truth is in the details, not the lie. The lie don't want you to know the details, it's lying to you. And like in the movie Labyrinth, one of us always lies and one of us tells the truth. But sometimes it's a metaphoric truth you don't want to see. That's still telling you the truth. A metaphor, like the child coming in there to me, is a metaphor. Children don't approach an adult for sex, ever. If they do, they were coached in the story. So you're thinking the child will be embarrassed by her granddad and real dad and Daphne, who could be the only ones to tell her to say grandma. The other grandma would naturally be the one to undress her and interact with the child before that too. Not accusing her either. Like I said, the grandma would have to use the dildo where the dad and the granddad would have a penis. And both are light-skinned. Now, if the granddad did it, then the dad, with her new step-girlfriend, because you're not, unless you were married to him, then you're her stepmom, but like I said, I don't know. Then you're insinuating she came in there to be on her own while I was just went to sleep on the couch. Now, normally when you go to sleep, you turn off the TV and go to sleep. And once you hit the pillow, you don't know how long you're asleep until you wake up the next morning, which is usually 8 hours. Or 6 or 7, whatever, which is a normal sleep pattern. You can wake up in the middle of the night by yourself or with the child in there with you, but you have to investigate that shit either way and ask her who shared that. That's my job. And then if she does, you gotta tell the mom. Right? That's what I'm saying legally. If I'm paranoid schizophrenic, that's what I gotta do. To cover up my ass. Not Daphne's, not her family's. That's what I'm saying I would have to do legally. And see, if Daphne didn't call the police and told the police in 2008 to 2009 or whenever that was, because of the constant harassment on YouTube, which is still over 10 years ago, almost 10 years ago. It started as soon as I went on YouTube as well and started putting videos up. Within 6 to 8 months. Someone started accusing me because they said they read my blog and they noticed an unusual statement where I said I could have molested her but didn't. Keyword didn't. Now, some people have the yes means no and no means yes mentality too. When Jesus clearly said, let your yes be yes and your no be no. John, in fact, don't want you to even say maybe because to him that sounds like you're lukewarm. But if someone was to ask me or try to have sex with me, I would tell them a definite no. Especially over homosexuality. And if they escalated it from 86 to 94, within 8 years of each other, statute of limitation for murder is 7, attempted murder is 10. See, again, you don't know the rules. You don't know the rules. And the only way you might could try and blackmail me into it is if I had sex with Vivian's daughter. And even then, I can talk my way out of that shit too, because I'm not promiscuous. And only if Vivian's daughter wanted to have sex with me would I have sex with her. Don't mean I did or didn't either. That's not a memory. That's piecing together from the car accident and the forensics of the car accident what actually happened to me after the car accident. Now, knocking someone over the head usually would be enough to kill them. Then you would have to put my hand through a mirror or a glass, and then you would have to do something with my big toe, and then something was done with my pelvis. But my neck was broken from the C1 down, like with Christopher Reeves and the woman from the Billy Graham crusade, which would have paralyzed you. And me too. But when I woke up in the hospital, a few hours after turning down the road, whether I got into an accident or not, mysteriously, only someone with law enforcement could cover that for 31 years. and still not be able to get the actual CT scans from that accident. And we'll pretend, because they're old records, they were destroyed. But I can also get new ones, dumbasses, which would still show the injury to my neck. And see, they're not lying. You're making them lie to me, acting like they're quack doctors. And I have to call them quack doctors because I know they're lying. They're being quack doctors. Because I don't fit their medical profession. I healed, whereas normal people do not. And I told you why that was too. I'm one of the two witnesses. I'm outside of Jerusalem. And I don't know how long Jesus can resurrect me from the dead, but it can be up to 3 days like him, or less, or less. Anywhere from 48 hours or less, or less. And I was out of the hospital within 48 hours. Under 6.5 hours under. Or 6 hours, 2 minutes. Strange. 41:50. Or 13:50 or 1:50 p.m. Well, I wouldn't draw the military's attention if I was having insomnia during the Persian Gulf conflict. They were doing neurological tests on me and psychological tests through Dr. Ann Weinrep and Dr. Gaffney. I wouldn't perk anyone's interest in the military if I survived a car accident at 16 and was out the hospital in only a few days. The military wouldn't be interested in a person like that, dumbass. Would even send me on Black Ops, and I just don't fucking remember. I don't know. That's why they're called Black Ops. But I would be like the Lone Wolf McQuaid. Not a bad lone wolf, but serving my country with honor. Because I only do the right thing, and I believe in death before dishonor. Not where I'm fighting for my country to defend your freedoms and liberties as long as you don't rape me. Then we're fine. But if you want to fight me, you better have a fucking weapon, or I'll kick your ass, one-on-one. You better have more than one person, or a weapon. Because otherwise, I'll kick your ass. So whoever attacking me has to be attacking me with a weapon, but aren't killing me because I'm like the Wolverine now. The watch proves it. The car keys being broken proves it. The car keys being moved from my dresser to the table proves it. Them still breaking into my house, even though I got a new lock and all that shit too. That's only on the outside. And proves it. Them stealing my remote proves it. Now, it's one thing if I found the remote after all this time, but they know I'll look where I left it last, which would be where? If there's a remote for the living room, where do you leave it? In the living room. If it's a remote for the bedroom, where do you leave it? In the bedroom. That's just logical. Logical. Oh, logical. Well, they sent me away. Another copyrighted song that I'm teaching you to sing for a few minutes, a few seconds, as a critique, which I thought that was a neat song. Go on. That's the whole point. I learned to sing, impersonate, sing in unison, or on my own. I can do it all, with free songs or copyrighted songs, and that's for educational fair use purposes.